Migrant Women Awards finalist.
I nominate Indira because she shows no judgment to all that come to her, because she greets everything with professionalism, because she has presence, because she has intellect, and because I have seen her inspire through her story, through her achievements, through her resilience, and through her thirst to drive change into the most rigid of minds, and to give voice to the ones that have been shunned by the brutalities of life.
Hello, I'm very happy to assess a little bit on Indira Kartallozi's work. We have been dealing with issues with migrants during some time now, with her help from Hexagon Group, as to M Foundation in the UK, in Ecuador, in Latin America in general, and we are really happy to contribute this way to express how deep we feel gratitude for her work and how much we admire her commitment with humankind and for human rights. So congratulations, Indira, and keep the hard work going through from the Finalist future, and please lead the way as you are doing now.
Well, I've known Indira for a number of years, both as a partner in life and in work, and she really inspires me. And there are at least three reasons for that. The first is that she has an incredible way with people. I see this compassion she has and deep empathy with people and with what they go through in their life, with the problems and the crises that they face, and she's able to really help people through that because she has this deep human connection at a heart level. The second is that she has this real passion for justice. As someone said, we should all wake up a little angry in the morning at so many of the injustices in the world, and this is one of the things that really is the fire in her belly and manifests also in her work. And the third thing is that she has a love of life. Perhaps it's because she's gone through many experiences where she's lost. She's lost childhood memories when parents' house was burned down. She's lost members of extended family through the war in Kosovo. She nearly lost her son who had problems with his heart. And it's because of this sense of how precious life is that she's able to celebrate life. And she brings that to her work, she brings that to her relationships. And as a result, it's hardly surprising that she's inspiring to me and inspiring to many others, especially to migrants and to women in leadership. So I think she really deserves this award, and I'm really, really proud of her and lucky to be a part of her life and to be able to work with her.
I come from Kosovo originally, and at the time of my student years there was oppression from Serbian government. The situation was quite difficult. The universities shut. I was part of the protest and this rebellion against the regime. At the time I also had my son, my first son, and I decided that that was not a place that I wanted to raise him. It wasn't safe for myself, it wasn't safe for him. Kosovo and entering UK, although I was familiar with the country and the system and I could speak the language, it was quite difficult. Seeking asylum is not an easy process. First of all, although you come with all this wealth, experience and knowledge, you are almost like stripped all of that. You're stripped of identity. So life in the UK becomes so tough for migrant people, specifically if there are asylum seekers and refugees, because you have to rebuild all of that, rebuild confidence, rebuild experience, and start from zero. I was a pediatric nurse back home, and when I came here those qualifications were not accepted. Because my English was quite good, I started in the area of interpreting, translations. Same at the time we had an influx of people leaving Kosovo. So I become involved with through translations to advise work, and later I was working for a homeless charity, again continuing with refugees. I think my own personal experience has helped me a lot, because I could relate to the experiences that refugees have and bring with them, and the difficulties and the challenges that they have. I think one of the biggest challenges is not being able to work, not being able to participate in the labor market, or if they have any experience, or if they have degrees that are not accepted, then having to do very low skilled jobs, which is not paid well. Often this either makes you dependent on the welfare system, or it makes you vulnerable to various types of exploitation, not only by the dodgy employers, but also by the communities and itself. I set up Chrysalis Family Futures as a social enterprise. One, it was because I was becoming frustrated at the system and how the system supports the vulnerable families and complex needs families. First, it is very defragmented. The other reason was that the charities were struggling financially, therefore unable to obtain the finances to continue to provide services that support vulnerable families. So these were the drives that pushed me to leave my job and to set up an organization that can somehow become sustainable through the profit-making part, but also continue to do this important work that to continue the support that is very important for migrant and marginalized groups. This is where I think the government and the local services get it wrong, because often they only intervene at the stages where the situation has become so difficult, and often at the stages where they want to take the children into their protection. So I think the three stages that I have set up is to enable families not only to help them, to advise them what their rights are, to ensure that they are housed in a good housed in accommodations that are of good standards, access their rights through the welfare system, but also access education so they can improve their skills and they can move on. The second stage, grow, that is where I believe that working with a family with complex needs is not necessarily just ensuring that they have a place to live and they have money to eat food, but it's important to help them and enable them to reconnect with the skills that they have, to reconnect with the resilience, and to use the experience to further, to advance their lives towards a better future. And the third stage, emerge, is exactly that, to become able to become independent of services, to have their own jobs, to create their own livelihood. I'm very proud of this model because I think it includes three stages of what is needed to support someone who's going through difficulties, that has complex needs. My personal experience is that I have worked with a lot of migrant women, and often with women who has had quite difficult experiences being a migrant, including myself, and that is what drives the passion to become a leader in the community, to want to change things. And I think it's very important that we understand that these women can change the situation, can change the world, and should be supported. I think the message that I would like to give is to think about their own experiences, to think of the experiences in a positive way rather than negative. I understand that it can be really difficult and we can easily become hostile towards the host environment and start blaming one another. But I think it's important that apart from finding yourself and your identity and finding your home, because that's the journey that every migrant goes through, the transformation to find where they belong. It's also important the part of the integration, part of being part of the society where we live. It's important to realize that this is home, and your participation in the society is very important, but also to show the government, specifically now where there's a lot of negative portrayal of migrants, to show what we can do, and then perhaps we can actually help to make this country better than it is.